have mostly about the graphs. Okay, we have different questions on graphs. We will solve few questions which are given over there. Okay, one of the question is how to find the clustering coefficient of a particular node. Okay, how to find the clustering coefficient of a particular node. See, if they will give you one graph, okay, and they'll ask you to find out the clustering coefficient of a particular node. So how you will find out? There is a specific formula what you have to remember. Okay, the clustering coefficient of a particular node V, the formula is 2 into NV by KV into KV minus 1. Okay, clustering coefficient of a particular node. This is the formula you have to remember in order to find out the clustering coefficient of a given node. Okay, let us take a graph so that you will understand what is this NV, KV. Okay, NV is nothing but, here NV is nothing but number of links between neighbors of V. Number of links between neighbors of V, between neighbors of V. Okay, and KV, here KV denotes degree. KV denotes degree of that particular node. KV denotes the degree of that particular node. So if you take this graph, I'll show you one graph. So they may give you any graph and they may ask you to find out the clustering coefficient of that particular node. So if you, let us assume this is node V. Okay, now I want to find out the clustering coefficient of this particular node V. So what is the formula? 2 into NV. What is NV here? Number of links between neighbors of V. First, you should find out the neighbors of V. Who are the neighbors of V? Here, this is one neighbor of V. This is one neighbor of V. And this is one neighbor of V. And this is one neighbor of V. We have 4 neighbors of V. Okay. So what is NV? Number of links between neighbors of V. See how many links are there between neighbors of V. This is V. Okay. This is V for which we are finding the clustering coefficient. Okay. And these are all the neighbors which I have ticked. Okay. Now you have to find the links between neighbors of V. See, there is only this link. There is only this link which is present between neighbors of V. And these two are also neighbors, but there is no direct link between these neighbors. Okay, so we have only one link. So NV is 1. Okay, NV is 1. So 2 into 1 divided by KV. What is this KV? As I said you, it's a degree of that particular node. I hope you know how to find the degree of a particular node. How many links are there to this particular node V? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the degree of this particular node V is 4. So 4 into 3. KV minus 1, 4 into 3. So it is 2 by 12. 1 by 6. So in this way, you have to make it into decimal points and you have to search for the answer. In this way, you have to find out the clustering coefficient of any node which is given in the graph. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Please try to remember this formula in order to find the clustering coefficient. Is this clear? Yes or no, everyone? I'm concentrating on problems so that you will be able to solve in case if they give. Okay. So next one. Do you know how to find the complement of a given graph? How many of you know how to find the complement of a given graph? How you will find the complement of a given graph? Do I need to explain clustering coefficient again? Okay, once again, I'll repeat. See here. Colors. Okay, see here. I'm using color now. Here, this is node V, for which I need to find out the clustering coefficient. Okay, so what is the formula? 2 into NV divided by KV into KV minus 1. Here, NV is nothing but number of links between neighbors of V. Please understand this point. Number of links between neighbors of V. So first you have to find out the direct neighbors of V. Okay, I will name it as A, B, C, D. Okay, these are A, B, C, D are the direct neighbors of node V. Okay, so now you find out how many number of links are there between neighbors of V. See, these two are the neighbors. They have a direct link over here between A and B. C, D are also neighbors of V, but they don't have any direct link. So you have to find out for the direct link between the neighbors of V. As we have only one direct link, I have taken NV as 1. So 2 into 1 divided by KV. KV is nothing but degree of this particular node V. What is the degree of this particular node V? You have to see the in links to that node V. One in link. See here, I'm drawing with red color. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the degree of this node V is 4. So I have substituted in place of KV 4. 4 into 3. So you have to perform the division and you'll get the answer. Is this clear to everyone? Please remember this formula. Is this clear, ma? Still anyone has any doubt? Yeah. Okay. Then tell me how to find the complement of a given graph. Diagram. Okay. Wait, I'll show. See, you can see the diagram here. Okay, we will continue because we have 2 to 3 problems we have to discuss. Okay. Please, I will share it in the group if you want the diagram. Okay, not an issue. Please tell me how many of you know how to compute the complement of a given graph? Yes, exactly. You have to add all edges which are not given in the current graph. That will become the complement of the given graph. Correct. So in case if there is an edge between A and B, you remove that edge. That edge should not be there in the complement of a graph. Okay. So that is correct. Next one of the problem we have is how to calculate the density of the graph. How to calculate the density of the graph. For this also we have formula. Okay. So for the density of the graph, the formula is d of g is equal to 2 into m by n into n minus 1. N into n minus 1. Here m represents number of edges. M represents number of edges and n represents number of nodes. N represents number of nodes. So they will give you the graph and they'll ask you to find out the density of that particular graph. So you have to use this formula 2m by n into n minus 1. M represents edges and n represent nodes. Okay. Next, when you will say that a graph is isomorphic? Please. Okay, you want the example for complement of a graph. Okay, wait. Few people are asking about examples, so give me a time. So see here, I am drawing the original graph for which you need to find out the complement. See here. So this is my graph G for which you need to find out the complement, G complement. Okay. Now see, first you have to write the notes as it is. Don't touch the notes. Okay. You have to concentrate only on the edges. So I'm writing the notes as it is. Okay. Now see the edges. Now I should not have edge between these two nodes. Okay. Because it is already there in the current graph. So you have to redraw the edges which are not there in the current graph. So see now the graph will look like this because there is no connection over between these two nodes. Okay. And next here and here, this also this connection is also not existing. See, this becomes the complement of the given graph. Now see, whatever all the edges are there in the G graph, they are not available in the G complement graph. Okay, that means we are not drawing the edges which are given in the graph. You have to exclude those edges and you have to draw the remaining possible edges. Is it clear? Please, is it clear? Does anyone have any doubt? Okay. So we have seen density, how to calculate the density of the graph, how to calculate the clustering coefficient of a given node, okay, how to find out the complement of a given graph, okay, and they will ask you which triangles, what will be the diameter of a complete graph? It is 1, ma. It is 1. The diameter of a complete graph of 50 nodes is 1. Okay. It's predefined actually. So you have to remember it. For complete graph, it is 1. For complete graph, the diameter will be 1. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. Before that, I want to give you one more example also. Then I will discuss about the diameter. Okay. When we will call a certain triangle a stable triangle and unstable triangle, they will give you a few triangles. Okay. And they'll ask you whether they are stable triangles or unstable triangles. Do you know? It's not about connection actually. You have to remember. See here. See here. Whenever you have 0 positive edges, 0 positive edges, or 2 positive edges, then the triangle is referred as unstable. Then the triangle is referred as unstable. Okay. They will give a triangle. See here. A, B, C. Okay. And they'll give the relationship. Now see, plus, minus, minus. What do you mean by this is, A and B are two friends. Okay. And C is a common enemy of both A and B. Minus, minus means enemy. Okay. Plus means friends. They are friends. Okay. So A and B are friends together and they have a common enemy C. So such type of triangles will be given in the diagram. Okay, in the question, and they'll ask you whether they are stable triangles or unstable triangles. Unstable triangles, they will not exist for a long time in the network. Okay, they are because they are not feasible. Okay, so how you will identify whether it is a stable triangle or unstable triangle? By using this technique. Either it should have a 0 positive edges or 2 positive edges. Then they will become unstable triangles. They'll become unstable triangles. Okay. Now see, A, B, C. Okay. See here, all negatives. That means we have zero positive edges. We don't have any positive edge. Okay. So this becomes the unstable triangle. Such type of unstable triangles, they'll not exist in the network. Okay. If you are able to identify the unstable, then definitely you will be able to identify stable triangles. Okay. If all are positive, it is stable. Okay. And one more combination for stable triangle is one positive and two negative. One positive and two negative. One positive and two negative. This will also come under stable triangle. Okay. So you have to remember the condition to identify the unstable triangle. Any doubt over here? Bipartite graph. Yes. Which one you want me to repeat? Unstable and stable. Okay. See here, A, B, C. Here we are representing the people with the help of nodes. Actually, we are talking about the relationships. That is a social network. What type of relationship the people will maintain among them? Okay. So in case we have, if let us assume if all are positive edges. Okay, if all are positive, that means all A, B, C are friends together. Okay, A, B, C are friends. And in case, let us assume this is a we will make this 2 as minus. Okay, we will make this 2 as minus. So that means between A and B, we have plus relationship. That means they are friends. Okay, between A and C, we have negative relationship. That means C is enemy of A. Okay, and if you see B and C, again here C is enemy of B. Okay, so if they are positive and negative, they will show the relationship among those three people. Okay, and which relationships are stable and which relationships are unstable, that you should be able to identify. So when you will identify, how you will identify that the stable and unstable triangles is whenever the triangle has zero positive edges or two positive edges, then those triangles are referred as unstable triangles. Okay, whenever the triangle has zero positive edges. Zero positive edges means all three are enemies of each other. A, B, C. We have minus, minus, minus. Okay. All three are enemies of each. That such type of relationship does not exist for a long time. Okay. Next, two positive edges. Two positive edges means like this. We have two positive edges and one minus. So A, B, C. Now see here, in between A and B, we have a plus. That means A and B are friends and B and C are friends. Okay. But A and C are enemies. A and C are enemies. So again, this is a unstable triangle. So such type of relationships, they will not exist in the network for a long time. So with the help of this technique, you should be able to remember which are stable and which are unstable. A and B are friends. Okay. And B and C are friends. And again, A and C are enemies. So this doesn't work. Such type of relationship doesn't exist for a long time. Okay. Yeah, we have one document regarding that complete graph diameter. I'll share the complete graph diameter topic. Okay, if you want me to explain, because still madam wants to continue. And one more thing, isomorphic. Okay, isomorphic we can see here. For isomorphic, they should have same number of vertices. Okay, both the graphs should have same number of vertices, same number of edges, same number of degree sequence also. Same number of degree sequence. Same number of degree sequence. Then we'll call those graphs as isomorphic. I'll show you the example. Give me a minute, I'll show. I'll draw the diagram. See here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Here also this thing. Here also this thing. Okay, this is the graph. This is one graph and one more graph is like this. Okay. Here C, B, D, A, E, F. Okay. E, E, F, D, C, A, B, D, C. Okay. Now see here. You can check the number of vertices. How many are there? A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, here also we have A, B, C, D, E, F. Number of vertices are same. Number of edges also you count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges over here. Here you also you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges. Degree sequence also. You have to count the degree sequence of the graph. Now count the degree sequence. What is the degree for node C? 1, 2. Okay. Here also. What is the degree sequence of node C? 1, 2. Okay. Next, degree sequence of B, node B. 1, 2, 3. Here also you can see. 1, 2, 3. So all the nodes should have same degree sequence in both the graphs. Then the graph is said to be isomorphic. Okay. Schelling model similarity ratio. Yeah, we have formula for this. Wait. R similarity is equal to N similar by N neighbors. If N neighbor is not equal to 0. Okay. R similar is equal to N similar by N neighbors if N neighbor is not equal to 0. Here what the Schelling model says, when you want to stay in a certain place, whenever you are surrounded by a certain number of people who belongs to your category, then you will be staying in that place. In case if you don't like, in case if you are surrounded by the people who don't like you or who doesn't like you or you don't like them, then definitely you will move from that place. Okay, so we will have some threshold value called T. Okay, let us assume my threshold value is 3. That means At least you should be surrounded by minimum 3 people of your category. Then you will you wish to stay in that particular place. Otherwise, you will wanted to move from that place to another place. That means you will start migrating. Okay. T is nothing but the threshold value which will decide whether whether you will stay in that particular place or you will move away from that particular place. That means minimum of 3 people. Minimum 3 people should be surrounded by you. Okay, of your category. Then you will start staying in that particular place. Otherwise, you will start migrating from that particular place. T refers to threshold. At least 3 people. Minimum of 3 should be there. Okay. So this is the formula for calculating the similarity ratio of the Schelling's model. Okay, I'll share the formula for the Schelling model as well as the complete graph diameter. Okay, the two things I'll share. Now the madam will continue. Okay.
Yes, ma. Am I audible, guys? You please respond in the chat box. Yeah, yeah. So actually, we have 12 weeks, right? So among, I will be discussing you a few things as we have very short time. Uh, Before that, I just want to tell you something, ma. Actually, you have so much of means lengthy videos, but the video at the end will give you a simple explanation, right? So I suggest you, if you are preparing with your friends for the exam, so you divide the videos among the friends, and later on you share the things among with you, so that it is very easy for you to prepare, right? So if you follow that, you can easily complete the syllabus. See, you started very late the preparation, and you have very less time also. So I just want to give you this simple thing for you. So now I will discuss you like the cascading behavior in the networks, right? The that thing I will discuss, and I will discuss like what is link analysis, right? Where I tell you like what is hubs and what is authorities and what is page rank. Then I will discuss the power law, right? Oh, I'm talking. Yeah, am I audible now, guys? Yeah, yeah. I will share you the PPT with you. Why? Because in that PPT, he has taken so many examples. I cannot draw all that now. So I'll show you the slides along with I try to explain you the concept, right? Very quickly, as we have very less time here. Yes. Uh, I'm sharing my screen. Yes. Let me check the thing. The PPT. 1 second. Give me 1 minute. Can you able to see this, guys? The document. So here, what I try to explain you here is what is the cascading behavior in the networks, right? So for that, I am taking these slides to make you understand the things very quickly. Uh, right. Seema. So here the cascading, to know the cascading behavior in a network, some problem is there in the left side path, you also will take the right. Yes or no, right? So this is how we follow, right? So why do we follow? Normally, if you take in the real time scenarios, why do we follow? Is here for that also some examples are taken. See, you got some good MCET rank, and where means you want to choose your career. There you take the different opinions from the family and friends, then based on you follow which path you want to take. It is not right. So we follow, but do we follow in all the situations? See, if one person is jumping into the well, all the people will jump into the well? No. For that, why do we follow is, so here we have two reasons for following. One is explicit benefit. One is explicit benefit. The second one is informational benefit. Explicit benefit is, see, you have taken you have purchased a pair of shoes, and if you refer to that, your friend said that your friend is having a company where your friend tell that if you sell this to 5 people, you will get it for free. That means it is some explicit benefit. So based on you follow, right? And informational benefit is, see, you want to open a medical shop, take an example, and you take the information from different doctors, right? Then based on the popular doctors, which medicines they are following, that way you will take the information. That is called informational benefit, right? And the next concept is, see, one second, ma, you have anything to talk? Okay. You have any doubts, ma? Can I continue, guys? Yeah. Okay, done. See, here diffusion in the network, the diffusion is nothing but spreading, right? See, here, let's consider how we follow, right? The persons we take as the nodes in the graph, right? See, I will see here in the graph, I am also a node, right? So I follow one person, and I will refer the same thing to the other people. That That means I buy the shoes and I refer the shoes to 3 people here. Then these 3 people will refer to the other 3. In that way, that will be filling the complete network, right? So the edge between the nodes is nothing but I am referring that thing to a person. That means I am making that person to follow, right? Here the edge between the nodes implies that, right? This is this person, this is me, and I have an edge to this person, means I made this person to follow what I am following. So that way, if this person is making its neighbors to follow, that way, if that is getting, that means I buy the shoes, I make the friends to buy, and they made that means here this is spreading all over the network. This spreading is called the diffusion in the network. Got it, guys? So how this diffusion can be modeled? So the same thing here, shoes, the other people has taken in the same way, it everything was filled. Now modeling the diffusion. So how you can model the diffusion in a graph? So here, let's consider here he has given a scenario. See, I have 20 friends here, and among 18 friends wants to go to the library and do the assignment, and 2 people wants to go to the shop, right? So how the modeling can be done is here based on the payoff. Payoff is nothing but if I choose this, I'll get some payoff, and if I choose this, I get some payoff. So I will choose the thing based on the maximum payoff I will get. You are getting me, guys? See, to explaining this, here one example has been given for giving the payoff. See, you have 20 friends, but here let's consider you have a special friend called Zara. Here he has taken it as an example. See, you want to go to the library, and if your friend want to go to the library, that means you will get some payoff. That means the 2 decisions are matching, then only you will get that payoff. If you go to the shopping, and if your friend also wants to go to the shopping, then you will get the payoff. And if you want to go to the shopping and friend wants to go to library, you will not get any payoff, right? So that way the modeling can be done. So here, see here, this is me, capital N, capital B. These are the 2 options I have. And consider here, some of my friends decided to go to the library, and some of my friends decided to go to the shopping, right? And then here, let's consider if I go to the library, I'll get the payoff of 2. And if I go to the shopping, I'll get the payoff of 3. And here, let's consider 15 friends wants to go to the library. The total payoff will be 30. And only 5 friends wants to go to the shopping. There I'll get the payoff 15. So here, the payoff of going to the library is more than the payoff of going to the shopping. So I will choose this based on the payoff, right? You're getting me, guys? So here for this you have some formula for payoff for adopting. If you adopt this, what will be the payoff? If you adopt this, what will be the payoff? So you have to adopt to the payoff where the fraction is greater than or equal to b by b plus a. B by b plus a is nothing but here a is the percentage which are taking the option A. B is the percentage where they are taking the option as B, right? You are getting me, guys? So this is the value for this, the payoff, and small b is the value for choosing B. And P is the fraction, 1 by P is the fraction for the other side. If I take the fraction P for the side of capital A, at this 1 minus P will be for the capital B. So based on, you have to calculate this thing. So you have to, means A has to be adopted if the action A has been taken, P into A is greater than or equal to 1 minus P into B. So this thing you have to remember, right? So when I want to adopt means what product I have to adopt based on the payoff thing. Got it, guys? Then we will discuss one more thing here. It is called social reinforcement, right? Social reinforcement. So here what it is see, first I want to go to the library, but one of my friend came and he said he want to go to the shopping. Okay, only one friend, no, he want to go to the shopping. But my idea, where I want to go to the library is there in my mind still. The second friend came. He said he also want to go to for shopping. Third friend came. When the fourth friend came and said he also want to go to the shopping, then my mind will get changed. See, all my friends are going for shopping. I also wants to go to for shopping. So this thing is called social reinforcement. You're getting me, guys? See, this is how. Actually, all the people wants to go to the library. But there is a one person who actually don't want to go to the library. He want to go to the shopping. Then with his decision, he will influence one person, and that person will change his mind. That way, some of the people will change their mind because of one person influence, right? So this is called social reinforcement. You're getting me, guys? Then, so that way, see, if all people will get their mind changed, but even though there are some people who never change, that depends on the cluster density. So that I will discuss later, right? For now, let's see what is the impact of communication here, right? What is the impact of the communication? So how this spreading, the diffusion impacts is, see, there is a product, and for that product, a popular actor or a popular person is doing advertisement, right? So definitely by seeing the advertisement, most of the people will buy the product. No, that is called viral marketing. The impact of communication is there in the networks, right? So if a popular person, see, as I told you, if one person wants to go to the shopping, though all decided to go to the library, because that person is that is called viral marketing, right? Now, coming to this cascade and clusters. So what do you mean by cascade and cluster is, see, here I have taken a scenario. There are different groups in the company. The manager is there in the group, and the manager making some decision, and all don't want to follow that. Right here, these people are not there in the single group. These are in the different groups, right? Here, see, this group also wants to oppose that, but they have the fear because only we are 4. Maybe the others are supporting him. This group also will feel the same, and this group also will feel the same. That way, they will not express their feeling, right? So here, how this can be done is, they want to oppose the decision of this. How they are going to do is, let's consider they have a common friend. So if you take these two groups, and one of the person in the group is having a friend here, he will talk to this person, and they try to find out what the other group is thinking, like, right? So that can be done by knowledge threshold and collective action. So first they try to gain the knowledge of the other group, what they are thinking. Then they will decide how many are opposed to that, and finally with this collective information, they will go for a action, right? So yes, now let's see the terms called cascade. So this is about knowledge threshold and collective action. So this part I already discussed, right? Then you have like a cascade and cluster. I'll tell you what is a cluster and what is a cascade. Cluster is nothing but, see, I have a network, right? So in that network, ma'am, similarity measure of two list. Seema, see, when I am discussing a topic, if you have the doubts with the previous madam topics, you ask that. I'll give you the time after that, right? You ask there. Why? Because if you are sending the messages, I'm getting confused, like, you know. Got it? Right. So here, cascading and clusters. Cascading is nothing but spreading the information in the group. You have to understand these two things, cascade and cluster. Right? Cascading is nothing but trying to spread the information in the group. It depends on the clusters. Clusters is nothing but though you have a group, you have a network. There is a set of people. There is a set of people who have the same decision. That means, see, if all wants to go to the shopping, but there are 10 bunch of people, they are in the same decision, like they want to go to the library. That means even though the all people are wants to go to the shopping, this cluster people will not change their decision, right? That means here cascading depends on the density of the cluster. Density of the cluster is nothing but how they are sticked together. That means how they are having the edges between them. If the bonding is strong, that means the cascading will not work out. Why? Because they are in the strong decision. They are in the strong decision that they don't want to change their decision, even though anyone are influencing in the network. This is one thing. And one more thing is, if any person wants to spread something in that cluster, right? And if the cluster wants to accept it, that means if the one person who is in the cluster decides that he wants to adapt to that, then definitely all the people in the cluster will follow the same thing. Whether the decision can be anything, all the people in the cluster will follow the same, right? So this is all about your cascading behavior in the network. This is clear, Noma? Then we go to the link analysis. Link analysis means how the link between two nodes, how this can be analyzed, right? So in this, mainly hubs and authorities is there. For that, I'll just give you the brief. I'll not go to the slide. See, link analysis is nothing but, see, I went to a place, right? There, I am new to that place, and I asked two of my friends who are staying there, right? One person given one advice, and the other person has given the other advice, right? And among them, the one person has given the advice which not suits me, and the other person has given me the advice where I can follow. And the next time, if I want to ask anything, whom I will ask? The second person only. Why? Because the first person is not matching with my opinions, right? So the same thing here happens with the link analysis also. So here, link analysis. See, to show you the example, I'm trying to find out the slides. Yeah, that's this week only. So here the page rank also explained. I will take that point also because it is, yeah. Right. See, normally how this can be given is, see, I have a person, and this person is giving some reviews to the hotels in a place, right? So if this person is giving good references, right, this person is valued, because this person is referring to that, this restaurant value is also will be valued. So this is called principle of repeated improvement. The principle of repeated improvement, right? That means because this person is referring, the reputation of the hotel is getting increased. Because it is increased, the person value will increase. That way, the both will be improving. Now, coming to this hubs and authorities, see, I have a network. That means I have a group of people in the classroom. Consider it as a network. And I asked a person a doubt, right? And that person don't know that the answer, but he is referring to someone, right? He can refer to one or more people also. And in the same way, this person also can be referred by someone. That means, let's consider A is a person. He is referring to P1, P2, P3. Let's consider. And in the same way, A is also will be referred, right? So here, when you take a graph, here, the hubs and authorities, hubs is nothing but someone is referring to you, right? Someone is, that means you are being referred by the good people and you are referring to the good people. You are referring to the good people, right? Based on that, the page rank will be defined. Based on that, the page rank will be defined, right? So how that can be calculated here is, let's consider, see, I have a person, right? Some good people are referring me. Some good people are referring me, right? Because I am good. And in the same way, if I am referring to the good people, then my rank also will be improved. So how to calculate the page rank here is, let's consider I have three resources here, A, B, C, right? So here A is being referred by B and A is referring C. B is referring A and referring C, and he is being referred by C. And in the same way, if you can understand this, right, how the page rank can be calculated here is, let's consider A, B, C. So here initially I will take the values as 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3, because I take the entire resource value as 1, because I am distributing with three things here. I have taken it as 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 1 by 3. And I have to apply the iterations here, and at some point they will cover, right? Converge. Converge is nothing but after a certain point, the values will never get changed. So you have to go to that point and that values are taken as the page rank values. So 1 by 3, Now, if you take A, right? So A is referring C. That means he is sharing its value with C. He is changing its value with C. You are getting me, guys? Right? 1 by 3. So now A is sharing that thing with 1 by 3. That 1 by 3 will be given to C now. Now, when you come to B, B value is 1 by 3 only, but it is sharing with A as well with C. That means 1 by 6 and 1 by 6, it is sharing. So that is the reason its value got changed to 1 by 6. So that way you apply the converge. How to apply the converge is, first you paste those values in the Excel sheet, and if you drag them up to some points where the values will be fixed, the values will not change. Like after 100 iterations or some number of iterations, the values will be fixed. They will not get changed. That means there they converge, right? There you stop iteration and you take these values. You take the values as the page rank values. And remember, if you add all of them, you have to get as one only, right? So that is about the page rank one. Actually, the time is over. I want to explain you the power law. What is power law is, which is not normal, right? Which is actually, if you take any scenarios where they follow the binomial form, right? The real-time situations. But if you go to the real-time social networks where they won't follow the normal behavior, they change the behavior. The change in the behavior is called power law. how to identify the power law is, there he applied some log in the plotting. When he is plotting, he applied some log there, and if it is representing a straight line, there you can identify that it is following the means it is being applied with the power law, right? So that is all about the things. All the best for your exam, guys, right? So till evening, if you are preparing and if you still get any doubts, you can try to contact us. If possible, we try to solve your doubts, like, right? All the best. Prepare well. Madam wants to clarify something. I'm giving the mic to madam. Yeah, repeat what is power law is. Normally, if you see, I try to explain that. I'll try to show you in the graph ma, so that you can understand it. Search go to power law. This document we already shared with you, ma. See, yeah, this is about the power law. See, normally if you take any scenarios, the real time normal scenarios, if you take here, he has explained about two examples, ma. I am trying to plot the percentage of people with the different heights. So if you take this, it's a normal distribution. You will see the bell curve, right? And one more example has been taken here, like IO means IQ of the people. It is also a bell curve. But if I take the social network example, it's social network example like World Wide Web, right? So they try to plot the thing, but it was not normal distribution. It was not normal distribution. Instead, it is giving you a curve like this. It is giving you a curve like this. That means, see, normally if you take in the normal distribution, right? The percentage means the degree and the percentage of nodes you take, the lower degree and the higher degree count will be less, and the nominal degree will be high in the bell curve. See, if you see here, right? If you see the bell curve, so if I plot degree here and the percentage here, right? Degree is nothing but what? If a node, based on the number of edges to the node, the degree will be defined. So if you see the graph, if you take any graph there, the lowest degree nodes and the highest degree nodes will be less, and there are the nodes with the nominal degree, right? You have the more number of nodes with the nominal degree. So this kind of thing is the normal behavior. But if you take the example of social network, like World Wide Web example he has taken, right? So there is a experiment was done in 1990s on the real world network like World Wide Web. Then if they try to plot the thing here, they change it, means they find a change in the curve. It is not the normal distribution curve. It is a different curve. So why this is happening here is because if you try to find out the degree of the nodes, right? The highest degree of the nodes, the count is, it is going continuously. That means the curve is not ending here. It is being plotted in the same way, right? Here, the change in this curve, right, will be defined as the, it will be defined as the power law only, ma, right? So for this, he has taken some example here. I have picked 10 people, and among 10 people, I asked them to choose a random number 1 to 100 like this. So there is very less probability that everybody will pick one, and there is very less probability that the 100 will be picked by everyone. Yes or no? Right? This is actually has to be like this. But when it is coming to World Wide Web, right? When it is coming to World Wide Web, normally if an edge is coming to a node is nothing but right, some page is directing to this node, that means this page, right? A node is directing to this node is nothing but in a website there is a page which is directing to some other page, means I will have an edge from that node to this node, right? So that in that way I have to be taken the graph here. So if I take this node, that means there are three incoming lines. There are three incoming lines to this. And if I try to draw this relation in the plot, right? As x-axis as incoming degree and y-axis as the distribution, the curve will be like this, right? The curve will be like this. And here the curve represents the value as 1 by k square, where k is the degree, here, right? And how I am going to find out that in that application, the power law is, means in power law is being applied, right? How I am going to find out is, if I try to represent x and y axes, and if I try to apply the logarithm on that, and if I get the equation as representing the straight line, right? There I can say that, there I can, means it is if it is a straight line, right? There I can say that there is power law applied over there. So this is how we can take the formula here. The fraction of k is equal to 1 by k square. So the value should be 2 or 3 to tell that power law is there in the graph, right? The power law is there in the graph. So he has taken this thing like so. I told you, if it is representing a straight line. So I have taken the degree here, k, and the fraction of k I have taken here, and I have applied the log for both the sides. Here, I don't know what the k value, it is 2 or 3. No, I have taken it as some alpha and applied. And finally, if I am getting the formula which is representing the straight line, whatever may be the alpha value, if it is giving a straight line instead of a curve, the bell curve, then I can say that the page rank is there in that particular, the power law is there in that particular curve, right? So that is all about the power law, right? Yeah, it was already shared, ma. Otherwise, I will share with you people. Here, all the PPTs of all the 12 weeks are there. You can refer to this, right? Topic wise, if you want to check or refer to the particular topic, right? Clear, guys? I am giving. Given 6 employees in a company, what are the number of ways that they will know each other? Tell me the guys if you know the answer. Have you solved this? It is already there in the assignment. Yes, I am giving to Mansa Madam. She will explain you.
how they will know each other, no? That means you have to unstable. Am I audible? Hello? Okay. See, there are 30 people, no? No. There are 6 people, sorry. Wait. Question, I'll see. 6 employees in a company. What are the number of ways that they will know each other? So, here, if you take, everybody has to know other person. So, when I start pairing them, okay, first I will pick one person from out of 6 employees. So, next person has to be picked up from remaining 5. So, it will be 6 into 5. Are you following probability? I'm pairing the employees, all the 6 employees I'm pairing with each other. So what happens? First employee will be picked from out of 6. The second person will be picked out of 5 because only 5 people are left out because already we have picked 1. 6 into 5, 30 combinations. Okay, but we will have multiple pairs over there. So we have to divide by 2 so that we'll get 15. Otherwise, you can go for the 6C2 formula also. Both will work. Is this clear? And this bipartite graph, which 2 nodes should be removed, that we cannot see without the graph. Based upon the graph, the answer will be decided. Okay, it depends upon the graph. So basically what is bipartite graph is, in a given graph you will have a n number of vertices. So all those vertices has to be divided into 2 disjoint vertices. Okay, we should be able to divide into 2 disjoint vertex sets. Then that is called as bipartite graph. Okay. And one more question they have asked is how to find the diameter of a graph, complete graph. Okay. Density, I already told you. I will write all the formulas related to those problems in a PDF, in a Word document, and I'll share you. Okay, so that you can refer to those formulas once again. But the diameter of a complete graph is, as I said you, the complete graph is. Please don't pose the questions as it is. Whatever you are saying, if you have any doubt, you just message them because already madam left. Okay, you please contact madam so that she will tell you the answers. Okay, and please listen here. Coming to the complete graph, when you will say that the graph is complete, when you will say the graph is complete, nobody knows. When you will say that the graph is complete, every node is connected to every other node in the graph. Then the graph is said to be complete. So what did they ask in the question? The diameter of a complete graph with 15 nodes. Okay, so whether it is a complete graph of 4 nodes or 5 nodes or 16 nodes or 17 nodes, as we know, complete graph means what? Every node is connected to every other node in the graph. That means the diameter of that graph will be 1. How you will calculate the diameter of the graph is greatest distance between any pair of vertices. Okay, you have to calculate the distance between every pair of vertices. So whichever is the greatest distance you will get, that will be the diameter of the particular graph. But whereas in complete graph, as we know, every node is connected to every other node in the network. Definitely the diameter of the complete graph will be 1 because it is directly connected with the other node. Okay, in case if it is not a complete graph, then you have to find out the distance between each and every pair of vertices, okay, in the graph, and then you have to find out the maximum one. So that will give you the diameter of the normal graph. Whereas in complete graph, it's always 1 because it is every node is connected to every other node. So the distance will be directly 1. Okay, I hope you have understood. And we will share the notes also so that you can see the notes for your questions. Okay, I hope you have understood, and we are stopping the class here now. Thank you.